Handouts are a hugely underutilized feature of PowerPoint and quite unknown too. PowerPoint has the ability to easily let you print out your slides for your audience and even lets you include space for them to take notes. So as someone who uses handouts almost every time I talk, I need to decide when I want to give them to the audience. That's actually kind of important because if you wait till the end, you need to tell the audience that they are coming. That way they can focus on what you're saying and absorb it all rather than frantically feel like they have to write everything down. Alternatively, if you are going to give the handout at the beginning of the presentation, you have to realize that they might be spending that whole time you're talking reading the handouts instead and reading ahead and being distracted. So there's pros and cons you need to think about a little bit. Now you can use built-in handouts just the way they are without making any changes, but I do want to show you how to go in and change them just in case. So we can edit the handout master just like we could with the slide master. I'm going to go to the View ribbon tab and choose Handout Master. So here is where you can choose from all the different layouts that you will be able to choose from in a few minutes. For example, the first thing you need to choose is slides per page, if you want to edit any of these. I personally like the 3 slides per page view because it's a nice size for the frame and you can see them more clearly and it gives the audience space for writing notes. So here's where you can add any header or footer information if you wanted to. Uncheck whether you want the date to appear or not and the page number. It's totally up to you. In this case, I'm perfectly happy with the way they look right out of the box, so I don't need to make any changes. I'm going to hit Close Master View. Now when it comes to the time to actually print the handouts, we do that by going backstage. So we go to the File menu and choose Print. Now in the settings, instead of printing all slides, you want to print handouts. So the first thing I need to choose is whether we are going to print all the slides. In this case, I definitely want to print out my entire presentation, like I promised the audience. Here is where I'm going to decide when I'm going to print either a full page of slides as a regular old print layout or actual handouts. Now these are all the handouts that we just saw in the Handout Master. Here's my 3 slide handout that I like so much. I'll get a preview on the right hand side. I can see the slide and a little space for writing notes. I can change and preview just to see what they're all going to look like. Now this is an important step because note at the bottom it tells me how many pages it is going to take to print out my presentation. So naturally the more slides I add per page, the last page is going to take up. But the smaller the slide it is going to be. So it is going to be harder to read them. If you can't read them, it's not really worth printing out. So I can zoom in down here in the bottom right just to make sure that I can read all the text clearly. When I'm happy with the zoom level and I can see everything clearly, I can make changes as needed. Come back to choose slides here. I can see everything I need to see, so that's good. I have a couple of more decisions I need to take. Collated, whether I want them portrait or landscape. And finally, I need to decide whether I want them in color, grayscale, and pure black and white. Obviously, this will save on some color, but it's important that you can read them clearly. So definitely take the time if you're going to do that and scroll down a little bit if you're changing from grayscale to black and white, because it will change the graininess level of your slide. I'm going to go Appear Black and White and you can see how it changes it. Now because I'm printing 2 slides per page, I'm fine. I can see them all clearly. It becomes more important if you're choosing about 6 slides per page because it's going to get smaller and a little bit more grainy. So when you're happy, simply choose Print and your handouts will be printed. To get back to your presentation, click the arrow button. So now you're ready to move on to working more on delivering your presentation. And now your audience has a little party of your presentation to bring home with them.